Hey, welcome back to another video.
Hey girl, you good? Today we're talking about closure. I'm going to start with our quote. The lack of respect was the closure. The lack of empathy was the closure. The lack of trust was the closure. The lack of apology was the closure. The lack of appreciation was the closure. The lack of self awareness was the closure. The lack of honesty was the closure. The lack of love was the closure. The lack of care was the closure. So today I was talking to a client and she is going through a breakup and she said to me, I need closure. I need to speak to him one more time. We need to discuss this because I just cannot move on until I have closure. So that prompted me to tell her what I am about to tell you. And it's not always easy. What seeks someone feeling as if they need closure when a relationship goes bad? Well, it's to make sense of it. We're human and we want to understand what happened. What made you do this to me or break up with me or betray me or whatever has happened? So therefore, the idea is I talk to you, you tell me why, and then I will be able to accept what you did. However, the concept of closure is deeply flawed because someone playing in your face is closure. Someone disrespecting you, someone harming you, someone not treating you well should be all we need to slam the door and move on from the thing that is harmful from us. And this doesn't mean that I don't speak to you or I dislike you, but this idea of thinking you're going to have a conversation with someone who's already been dishonest with you, who's already caused you harm, and something they're saying is going to give you this great aha moment is a myth. It's not true. And we really need to stop telling people that it is a need. The thing you need is to start focusing on you as fast as you can, your healing, your happiness, because the expectation of someone who has not been honest, all of a sudden being honest, is a little dangerous. And depending on that person for what you need to move on with your life. What you need is you. You need your self-worth, your happiness, your joy. And putting that in the hands of the person who just betrayed you just seems, come on now, does that make sense? Does that make sense? No, it does not. It also can keep you in a chokehold because now you're stuck waiting for this person to tell you basically why they're not with you. Now, there's always places we can improve. And unfortunately, a lot of us are stuck with the idea and belief that when people do us wrong, that somehow we've contributed to it. This is common. This is often taught to us to believe that, guess what? If something happened to you and you've been mistreated, that you've contributed to that mistreatment and therefore you should look at you. Now, I'm not going to absolve us and say that we're perfect and we are not flawed. However, the reality of it is me being humanly flawed did not require you to be disrespectful and harmful to me. Let the things be equal. Okay? Let's say I can be grumpy when I'm hungry. That does not give you the right to go outside and cheat on me. Get it? You know? You might be messy and not clean up behind yourself, and I got to clean up behind you. That doesn't give me the justification to go on a date with another man and say, oh, it's because, like, come on, what are we doing? Those things do not make sense, and we need to stop trying to rationalize bad behavior with bad behavior. The reality of it is communication and these things that we need to talk about are real. However, it's not a justification for dishonesty and disloyalty. So, closure is a concept. And it's not anything that you need from someone. I know. Don't shoot the messenger. You don't need closure. And the problem is, it can also be harmful because let's say the person says, well, I just don't love you anymore. Often, the way that message is received is, I'm not worthy of love. I'm not good enough for you, right? If they say to you they need space, then I didn't give them enough, or maybe I crowded them. All of these things that we can start to overthink and try to understand or overstand, when in reality is the relationship isn't healthy. It's come to an end. The best thing I can do is take this time to focus on me and move on with my life. The closure you need from someone else, you can honestly give it to yourself. You have a choice. You don't have to sit there mad and bitter and angry and have someone spun up and have you look at you. Every time you lash out, get mad, try to send a text message that's 10 years long, blow up their phone, all of this, in their mind, they're painting you as the villain. You are the problem. You are annoying. You are the issue. So why not just spare yourself that and move on? That's what they're going to tell you. What are they really going to say to you that's going to make you feel like I can accept this? Now, there are some amicable things. I'm not going to say there's never a time where there are not amicable splits. However, I don't want your apology. I don't need it. Thank you. If you get it, great. And if you don't, so the behavior, what was done was done. You wasn't sorry when you were doing it. You weren't sorry if you were cheating. You weren't sorry if you were lying. You weren't sorry if you were being dishonest. So now you're sorry. And now them telling you sorry is going to do what? Is it going to change what happened? Absolutely not. So today I want to close with this idea. And I really want you to understand that when people move out of your life and do things that harm you, sometimes it is the biggest favor that they could have ever done for you. That finale, the end of that chapter, is really a blessing for you to move into the next phase of you. The only closing you need to do is closing that chapter on your life and moving triumphantly into the next. You good, girl. You are good. You are right. Okay. And I'm not saying you got to fake happy or whatever, but that anger and hatred and hurting, when you don't know how to get rid of it, it follows you into every relationship that you go into. And then you wonder why you can't have a healthy relationship. It's because you don't know how to let go of what was in your past. Detachment is a gift. The ability to say, you know what, that hurt, deal with that, let it go and move on. It doesn't have to be baggage like Erica talked about. Bag lady, you got all that stuff from that dude. Nah. You didn't appreciate me? Okay, the next one will. And if nobody does, I'm going to appreciate me. I'm going to know my worth. And I'm not going to let anybody, not even you, just because I love you does not give you the right to disrespect me. My love for you does not give you the right to hurt me. It doesn't. So on that note, we are ending today's video. I will see you in the next one. Remember, stay good.